Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. I apologize if you can hear the rain in the background. It's raining like crazy by my house. But anyhow, this is Swords and Spells by Gary Gygax. It's for fantastic. They are fantastic miniature rules on a 1 to 10 or 1 to 1 scale. Essentially, with these rules, a figure can either represent one being or a figure can represent 10, so that way you can have mass combat and stuff. It's basically a grandchild to chainmail, except this one you can do mass combat with. So it starts with an intro from the author, which basically says pretty much what I just told you, and then goes on the figure mounting, how you mount the different figures, the size bases you'll use. And 1 turn equals 2 minutes of scale time, and 1 inch is 10 yards. Here's the turn sequence. Sides A and B can fire loaded missile weapons. A moves his figures, B moves some of his figures, and then A completes movement, including charge bonus, and then both sides fire missile weapons. And melees are fought for 1 round, and retreats due to poor morale are made immediately, and then opponents alternate the role of A and B for steps 1 through 7. So you pretty much just use the regular D&D rules to get the movement values of the units, but here some of them are printed here anyways. These are the movement rules for when they're in mass, actually. Alright, here's your different terrain effects on movement. And here's troop classifications. First, formations. Only certain types of troops can have formations, such as kobolds, goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, gnolls, men, whatever. You get the idea. And here it's showing open order, which would be these units here. The stands don't touch if they're in open order. They're like a 1/4 inch away from each other. And here's the movement cost to change your facing. And there's fatigue rules. If you moved at least 75% of your normal movement for 6 consecutive turns, you get fatigue. Or if you did 3 consecutive turns of movement and charge bonuses or melee, then you get fatigued. And fatigue penalties are charge movement is not possible, and melee effectiveness drops to 20% of base, cumulative per turn. Alright, missile fire, here's the weapons and the ranges and rate of fire. Here's going over ammo supply. Here's spell casting. Quite a few spells in this book. There's lightning bolt, fireball, most famous spell in D&D. Detect magic. Detect invisible, that's a good one. And here's a ton more. Separated by magic users and clerics. And here's your saving throws. This is your melee rules. And there's first strike rules in this too. Alright, morale. If any of these conditions here, I'm not going to go over them all, are met, you got to take morale. Fortified positions, it's giving you point values for the different ones. Here's your missile fire adjustments and your melee bonuses and penalties. Here's your combat table. I want to mention, I believe this does not use dice. It just gives you like an average amount killed in that situation. Yeah, see, it's just using the level of the attacker and the defender's armor class. And these are separated in different tables by the amounts of damage that the weapons do. Here's your artillery missile fire table. And here's your appendixes, variable damage and weapons damage. Here's your average damage matrix. And here's your chance to hit at level 0 weapons type damage matrix. And here's suggested point values. And different troop types you can have are peasants, regulars, guards, elites, and so forth. Here's an army selection by point value. And there's an example game there. So in here it looks like when a formation represents 10 men, they have the 10 men and the stand there. But I think with these rules you can also just use 1 man to represent 2 if you want to. I preferred to have the 10 men and the stand though myself. Here's an example of gameplay. And that's pretty much it. Here's your movement chart, savings throw, missile fire, and missile fire adjustments. Yeah, this copy is in pretty good shape for an old book. Thanks for watching, guys. If any of you have tried this, definitely chime in. I mean, I've tried chainmail in the past. I've never tried these rules, though. Have a good evening.